Okay, the book I would like to show you today is an opening repertoire called The English Defence by Jose Gonzalez. This book is clearly and correctly called repertoire because, and I'm sorry for the terrible reflection, Gonzalez cover every possible move that White could throw at you to change and escape from the English defense. So this is why it's really a good book. However, one thing that I must notice is the wrong, let's say, the wrong diagram position, in the sense that this is a repertoire for black. The diagrams should be oriented from the black side, and like I show you in another review, it's possible to orient them because that book on the Kalashnikov Sicilian by Daniel King has the diagram oriented from black side, so it's possible. The book is based on example games that I really love. There are a total of 64 example games that you can see here. At the end of the book, there is this good thing, which is the index of the variations. Very, very important, because if you want to learn it, let's say playing correspondence game, you can. And I will show you a game played in 1993, game 13, against Susan Polgar. Susan Polgar was white and J. Spielman was black. It was in the Dutch league. Okay, d4, e6. So what we see here is that you can play different moves. Okay, it's not that you need to play b6 at all costs. No, you can play this and see where it goes. But obviously you must be ready in case the white plays e4 and then take the French. Okay, c4, bishop b4, knight c3, b6. Okay, this is the important one. And now e4 and bishop b7. White obviously immediately grabs the center with d5. And here there is a diagram, and it says playing an early d4, d5 is rarely a wise decision in these positions. While the idea seems completely logical, its foundation is weak. And as having the c3 knight pin doesn't contribute to the stability of a central pawn. As we'll see, playing an early a2, a3, avoiding bishop b4 is a better way to prepare d4, d5, and will open an interesting chapter of the English defense, see chapter 3. So, as you can see, the author of this book actually did a good job in preparing you, because it discussed also these possible transpositions. Queen e7, x-raying white's monarch looks like the most testing move. Now white must proceed carefully in order not to see her center dismantled. Okay, tuck, tuck, this goes away. Okay, so it's a kind of dangerous. Bishop e2, knight f6, and f3. Here there is a note and two different lines that I would like to show you for a simple reason. I'm reviewing the book, so I'm also showing you that the author asks you some questions, so he's trying to make you aware of the problems and also make you kind of active as a learner, okay? So he says that the best chance for white is not f3, that is a dubious move, but it's queen c2. Okay? E takes d5, e takes d5, castle, knight f3, c6, and castle. With just a slight edge for black. Instead, it shows you also another thing. Let's go back from the castle, from the c6, and the knight f3. Instead, it says, if you play a3, bishop takes c3, queen takes c3, it was played in Begunov-Salimova title Tuesday Blitz in 2021. So, from 1993, a similar game was also played in 2021. But why am I showing you this? Because here there is a diagram in the page after, and the question, white intends to play bishop g5 and castle long, okay? How can black discourage such plan or this plan? The answer is, now you can pause and find the answer, or you can just continue to listen. Rook e8. A multi-purpose move, it prevents bishop g5, putting pressure on e2, and creates the right condition to play c6. So it continues with bishop e3, not bishop g5. Can you see why not bishop g5? Because black could play this, knight takes d5. Okay, so this is a great thing. So bishop e3 is said, c6, knight f3, c takes d5, castle, and knight c6, and black is a pawn up for nothing. So this is better for black. So it's showing you how black should have dealt with that. Now I will pause the video and return back to the position that we started from. Okay, so we were in this position and white played the dubious move f3. E takes d5, c takes d5, and here there is another diagram which says white is almost ready to play knight h3 and castle short. Knight a3 and castle, okay? Reaching a solid position. Is there something black can do to interfere with white's ideas? Okay, so you can pause the video, try to answer the question, or you can continue watching. The answer is the right timing for this pawn break. Spielman takes immediate advantage of white's lack of development and poor piece coordination to attack her central pawns. Simply castling is inaccurate as it gives white the chance to take all the poison from c7, c6. So practically the right move is c6. You immediately attack. Okay? D takes c6, knight takes c6, knight h3, and that's why c6 was important, because now black plays d5, and that's the real pawn break, right? There were other promising options, but 10 d5 is the most energetic way of destroying white's central pawns and opening lines for black's pieces. E takes d5, long castle, beautiful, and bishop g5. Castling short is of no help for white either, as black initiative is too strong. And here it shows a big line which goes up to move 20, so 8 moves. Okay, it's a little too much probably for a human to visualize. Let's have faith in this, probably by the computer. So after bishop g5, rook h e8, which is putting pressure on this because this is pinning. Bishop takes f6, and now the question is, which I wanted, it's inside the book, that's the funny thing, but I also wanted to ask the same thing to the people watching this video, how would you best recapture? Now, this is the thing, that you must understand if you are not a total beginner following the rules. Because some beginners, they would say, oh no, double pawn, isolated pawn, no, no. But the thing is, what are you doing here? Here you are really pressing this and preventing this from escaping, so you want to continue that, right? And so that's why this is the move you must play. Also, if you create two isolated pawn, one isolated pawn, two double pawns, great. But this is what the position needs. So this is positional chess. Okay? And the author says keeping the pressure on the e-file seems logical, but as we will see, it has a concrete drawback. For that reason, capturing with the queen was clearly the best. Okay, so he says this was the best, but again, please hear me out. You know that he now puts a line to prove that this move is the best. Guess what? The line is up to move 22. And he says that black is winning. So we are at move 13, 22. It's 9 moves away. Can a human being see 9 moves away? No. But I will show you the line just to prove it to you, okay? After queen takes f6, he continues with castle, because obviously he can escape now. Bishop takes c3. Bishop b takes c3. Queen takes c3. And rook c1. Queen e3, knight f2, and now queen takes a2. Okay, so this is the proof. Queen b3, because obviously now you can take. Queen e3, queen c4, rook d6, d takes c6, rook takes c6, and queen g4 check. King b8, rook takes c6, bishop takes c6, and black is winning. That is the result. The white rook cannot be moved, because if you move it this is the check, and would lead to a checkmate. So this is why white is winning. But would you be able to calculate all these moves in a real game? I don't know. Let me pause the video and go back to the position from which we started and see if you are able to calculate that. So we were in this position, and the author asked which way is better to retake. In my opinion, it was this, the best way, but the author proved through a line that this was the best one. The line, in my opinion, seems computer generated, okay? G takes f6, which is a dubious move, but luckily, as you can see, also Spielman, a grandmaster, played G takes f6. And luckily, white plays knight f4, which is a mistake. White could have resisted more stubbornly by castling straight away. Okay. And I don't know. Yeah, because look what happens. This is the interesting thing, yeah. This is really interesting, yeah. So, if white castle, obviously this is going to fall, right? Bishop takes e3, b takes e3, queen takes e2, queen takes e2, okay? Up to here we are okay, right? Then we see another thing, however, that rook takes e2 brings to d takes e6. So, we are there, we have same material, right? And in fact, after that, there is knight f4. And although black has a clear advantage due to his strong bishop and somewhat superior structure, white's defensive chances are good. So this is what white should have played. Okay. Sorry, after d6 I didn't take here my photo. Okay, but this is the real position. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, white has a better structure. The bishop is generally slightly better than the knight, and then there is this advantage of this. But how do you actually decide which of two sides is best? Which side do you want to play? Eventually, one good thing is some position that you see here in the book, you should try them against an engine, because that would really open your mind to see what and how you should play. Now I will pause the video and go back to the original position. So we were here reasoning on which way was to better take the bishop. It seems this was the best way, but Spielmann and I would have taken this way. White continue with this move that was a mistake. It was better to castle, and black played queen e5. After queen d2, bishop takes c3, b takes c3. There is now a kind of winning move. Can you see what is the winning move for black? If you cannot see it, I really advise you to pause the video and try to find it out. You will really feel yourself well after saying, oh wow, look, I found the same move that a grandmaster found. Okay? So the move here for black is knight b4. And here the author says, black merciless pieces leave white absolutely dominated. There is nothing to be done against knight takes d5. King f2, knight takes d5, knight d3, and now again there is a great move by black. Can you see which one it is? So pause the video and try to find black's move. The move is knight takes c3, and here white resigns, as there is nothing she could do to avoid big material losses. Obviously, if she takes here, probably this is the problem, and then that is falling down too, so I don't know what she's going to do. So this game number 13, it was between Susan Polgar, or Susa Polgar, and Jay Spielmann in Dutch League 1993. I hope you enjoyed the game, and I hope you will enjoy the book, this English Defence. Let me reiterate for you what it is. The English Defence is when you play practically e6 and b6. Okay, so these are the two moves. I played the English Defence for a while trying to find my own way around the board, and I hope you will do it too, because the only way to grow as a chess player is through trying different openings, right? So the English Defence is d4, e6, c4, b6. This is the English Defence. Is a dynamic, a counter-attacking way to open the game. And it's called English Defence because it has been investigated by English grandmasters. And that's the interesting part. Okay, and remember, this book, however, gives you a repertoire against also other moves by white that could try to bring you out of the English Defence. So that's why the book is worth it.